used to run through the right after the featured reading because I was afraid people would. But suckers, you're still here. There it is. All right. No, I'm happy to see everyone. This has been awesome. Yeah. I am in a rare good mood. Perhaps I was drinking alone today in the middle of the day. So.
That drinking helps.
All right. With that, I am going to, at least for the first person stick order that's actually on here, and welcome up my good friend, Rick Christensen.
Yeah.
What an incredible and we get here. I'm home. I love you people.
Yeah.
Thank you. Before, but I promise they're sort of like one long one. All of them I've written since Election Day. I've never read them out. You guys are getting them for the first time. I guess some of it's political, but it's more just how I'm trying to crawl out of my own head. So this first one has kind of a weird title. It's called It's called We Were Always Moving. When I was a kid, I was like a little rat place. We were always moving. I got away with horrendous shit. Back then it was mostly about being known as the little guy that you shouldn't fuck with because he was nuts. I've never really written about that guy. I was Joe Pesci. I hit the bet and made a joke about it. So I was wow. Okay, this is called Lady Vitamins. She stood at the podium, her words sharp as daylight, each promise a brick stacked against the weight of history. She spoke with the clarity of glass, each word a thread pulling tight the fabric of the future, stitched with her name. But they watched her, with hands, eyes flickering like afraid of grasp. Their eyes narrowed, men in their suits, hands clasped tight, holding their own power in place. They muttered about control, whispered of imbalance, their voices trembling at the mention of estrogen and ambition. A leader, a caretaker, a voice too firm for comfort, cultural as if strength had no place in her skin. Aisles of the grocery store, they passed above. Again, even her vital promising endurance, a formula for rising, and they choke on the thought of swallowing. Thank you. This is a poem, maybe it's a prayer to myself. It's called The Weight of the EIGHT. Begins with an epigraph. Our struggle is a struggle to redeem the soul of America. It's not a struggle that lasts days, a few weeks, a lifetime, more than a lifetime. John Lewis, Congressman. I was so very angry. Jimmy, I am so very angry. I feel betrayed by my culture. I want to turn my back, hide behind my walls, waiting for the collapse of our republic. If you don't care, leave. I will not leave. John Lewis knew the shape of struggle, its sharp edges, its relentless weight. He was there when he pressed his hand to the earth and left a scar. On bridges, in courtrooms, in streets where just a whispered hope, he laid himself down as a path He faced the tear gas, the batons, the hard edges of power with nothing but conviction. As if the phrase could unlock doors, shut countries, find the kind of trouble that cracks the veneer of denial, that pulls truth into the light, even when everyone wants it. Good trouble, he called it. The kind that shatters glass and leaves more. Good trouble does not ask for permission, does not wait for the tide to turn and step forward, knowing the way is only by those who refuse to stand still. Good trouble, he knew, is not the absence of peace. It's truth, a weight that only the resolute can carry, a weight carried by those who refuse to stand down. Good trouble, the kind that cracks open the heart of a nation and lets the light flood in. I will bear the weight of bridges. Thank you. I will keep with the tradition to leave you with something that will make you smile a bit. Old guy gets. I've never written poetry. I find that I'm starting to write old people love poetry. It's called Chasing Sunshine and Shadows. The quiet of a long afternoon, where shadows stretch like old memories, two hands, weathered by time, reach across the worn wood of a cafe table. Her laugh is soft, like the sound of leaves wind. Her smile, a slow sunrise, warming skin long untouched by morning's light. They speak of gardens, of books read and forgotten, of children grown and scattered like seeds on the wind. They smile at each other's memories, now better. Share. A rhythm they both know. They do not rush, for time, once an enemy, now moves gently. A pace. There is time for this. In the spaces between words, they find a tenderness that does not question, a love that has shed the urgency of youth. Together they walk into the evening, the sky an open canvas of gold and ash, their steps measured, their hearts quiet but full.
I think just the act of hope is political without having
Amen.
just to do it, which is why you are not good at writing, but you do a good job. Who I know had a long ways to get here because he traveled with everyone. Tyler Frederick.
Michael and Frog were nice enough to let me tag along with them, so very cool. It's my first time in Missouri. It's beautiful here.
Welcome.
It's ugly on the inside.
Most places. Is there a time limit? How much time am I working on?
It's an open mic, so like 5 minutes.
This first one is called Wormholes. I knew you were a time traveler. That morning you awoke with laugh lines. You never smiled that much for me. The morning after the crow's feet appeared, I sensed the end was near and wished I had read between the lines. A little overeager to appear that nothing was wrong when nothing was right. If I could go back in time, I'd travel to that last night hike on the boardwalk. Your eyes always seemed to address quicker than mine. You take my hand and I trust that even if I slipped, plunged into the water. Here now, water and lung, still on the tip of my tongue to say goodbye, not as a revival. I'm going to do a political poem. Unhoused. I'd rather not have an address than pay property taxes on land stolen from my ancestors and borrowed from future generations of slaves to see red and blue and a purple hue. I think we'll be screwed if we can't lefty loosey a righty-tighty situation, find some middle ground before we lose it all. Because aren't we giving it away just as much as they are willing to take it? Yeah, I get it, you hate the government, but this isn't a political statement. It's our heart. And you could say, really, I just don't want to be another casualty for a company called the United States, an anachronism. They try to divide us, printing money freely, and we're all too broke to protest that. The risk of losing health insurance or paycheck-to-paycheck existence. And the devil you know seems safer than the what-ifs of losing it all. I'm just checking. If the purpose of life is to live it, then why are we as Americans so fucking suicidal? Maybe you shouldn't meet your idols, but what about your ideals? Oof. Worried about your next meal. And I get to every corner with a sign that said anything helps. I don't need to hold the sign myself. It's easier to come by than a solution. So until my last heart will hurt people. In past life, I drowned in a flood of maple syrup. Or at least that's what I tell myself. Situations get sticky. See, I trained for this. Keep my wits about me and the gains will keep stacking up. Now I've cut my losses. They don't make me. All it takes is a willingness to get a little bit sticky. I need to stick to it.
Thanks for reading that. It's always nice to hear someone new. Trying to follow the exact sign up on this. So the person I am going
Well, John, your ears. Philosophy, called the tolerance. To think about whether protests are possible in a society where there's no law. So, let's talk about this election is really has me bummed, and I've done some really violent things in my life. I talk about it takes a lot, but this piece I wrote 2019 when Donald Trump designed Rio Grande. Back here. Here's on the bank. The current and grass get caught in swift water and swirl downstream. Your eyes and look. See them there near the edge of the water. Red stretch pants on a toddler. Daddy, jeans, t-shirt. Face down, gently bobbing in the water and bumping back. Belle Daddy's shirt with her arm around her neck, trusting even in death. Oscar tried, my God, to save his family. They were met at the port of entry by the way to the U.S. side and told her to wait. Valerie, not quite two, was just afraid and followed Daddy. Time he realized his baby was carrying her away. He struggled to reach her. Even as he was drowning, he tucked her inside his t-shirt so he could swim. Murder, I say. No Spurs. By Stephen Miller. By government policy. Murder by your representative. Voted for them knowing who they were. You were angry. You were afraid. You wanted change just for the sake of change. Desperate brown people are an easy target. The jays and crows and ducks and coyotes and crawdads and catfish, they don't care. They have no souls. They have no conscience. But you, America, you're human. You have a soul. You have a conscience. America, you murdered Oscar as surely as if you put a gun to their head. The U.S. government acted for you. There is no forgiveness until you own it. 2019. Today, I'm 24, and you, my family, my friends, my neighbors, American voters, you knowingly get so much. You should be ashamed too. Thank you. It's kind of, I do become aggressive. Not many people see it, but it's there. And I work at keeping it kind of tucked down. This piece is thumbers. To all you chicken bullies who stick out your chest and thump them, pretending you know the cost of freedom, just shut your mouth. You've not earned the right to talk to me about freedom. I fought for this nation. I know the cost of leaving family alive. To be on the receiving end of you have not the right to tell me You have not sacrificed one thing for this nation. You have not lifted one finger to protect freedom. Just shut your stinking mouth. You have nothing to say to me, hearing, except thank you, sir. You think you can show this old man around, but that would be your mistake. It's true, I'm old. It's true I walk with the king. It's true I use a hand on steps. But let me assure you, chicken hawk, my trigger, you will never know when I'm carrying. Don't get my asshole. I might just put a cap in your yellow ass. Thank you. The last one I want to do is called Karma is a Bitch. Can you expect or grace from someone you've crushed? When you're drowned. You think you can swim, and maybe you can. Cramps. Are you expect to receive grace? When you have fair, karma is an unforgiving bitch. So expect to get. Thank you.
All right. With that, I call up Ken.
All right. My poetry tells me on the start, and this actually may explain some of that. You know. And 3 days later, I looked and they were still in my email. So, where does time go? Do this, don't do that, or don't, and think you did. Thought onto that act. Make sense and repeat. Empty calendar slot, conflicting schedules, appointments today. Last prep. Still time to make one. Did I read this? I wanted to read this. I thought I read this. I'll read it later. Why can't I? Didn't I write this? I sent it yesterday. Last-minute submission. Why is it still in my draft folder? Missed it. Urged to write a Tonka, which they were. Tonka. After 2 days of writing Tonkas, missed the deadline, so why not? Tonka, it is. Brain cells disjointed, scattered, even lost. Disordered dots can't find the time to find them from light into the shadow. So. This goes back 30 years, and it's short. The 2nd of December. Who calls a wife from the hospital at 3 a.m. to tell her? My call comes 5 minutes later. Prepare for an early shift. She's a widow. As I drive to her house, with any second morning to come. I don't know, middle of the night to tell me that. Thank you. A lot of you, half of you here, just 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago. And I'm going to read 2 poems. there's this guy that I follow online, and he always says, when I read poetry about something happened medically, he says, waiting rooms are the best place. I get inspiration from them all the time when I'm sitting in waiting rooms. So, inspiration, you can find it for Ron. Clinics and rooms. He says, or maybe where you're least expected. But I'm not sure during 18 days of oxygen and adjustable beds, or it was the distance from home. Nothing seems to have changed now that I'm back. It is because there will be, is it because I know there will be, if I drove back to St. Louis for surgery because I still need follow-up surgery. Random driving back home. It's radar station and what happened. So, random riffs. Our poems on the right while I'm driving started out when I would travel to Buffalo and Niagara Falls to visit family, and music on it. So. Driving home from St. Louis, news on my mind when Lee Morgan comes in on Trump left, almost forlorn, as if he's heard the bad news. Dark days are coming, not just politics. It's election over our country. Near dusk, a giant orange casts as it lurks beyond the horizon. Hank Jones' piano seems to lie beneath the trumpet, softening the blow a bit, until the trumpet comes to life as if to draw my thoughts and across from the damage of these next 4 years. The trumpet closes with those forlorn tones, and all we can do is hope to tell him.
I'm glad you're here with us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really lonely place, and Belle, Missouri can be a very lonely place. It's less lonely, so thank you.
And thank you.
All right. OAC's newest resident leaves there.
Hey everybody, it's been nice. It's nice that people are just, rude. Kind of nice. Haven't actually seen a lot of people this week. It's kind of quiet. I'm JoJo. I'm originally from Kansas City. Haven't lived there. Back in Missouri. It's a little different. I have shit for sale.
Is it really nice to be back in Missouri?
It's gorgeous. Okay. I got these plans. You guys want 2 songs? Start with 2 songs. Where should I go? This test is multiple choice. I penciled every bubble in, but I could not find my voice. Since I don't drink and I don't smoke, all I do is smoke. Don't you love a state of home where I belong? Used to beat me up, throw me grades. I did a mile from here the other way.
That was awesome. It's nice to get. All right. And I'm going to call up Agnes.
I'm as pissed as everybody else. I am not going to read any political.
I'm just very sad. I'm very sad. I wish I could even get up the anger like this.
I do appreciate the solidarity.
Cake for Dad. Dad, I baked a plum cake today. It's what you always want to say. September is the month. The cake is legend among your friends. Small and blue. The purple don't, but I'll have to. You'd scorn the American butter. I bought Irish butter, so the streusel would be rich enough for like. Make this cake often. It won't taste like grandma's. I can manage. Nobody can take them to the cemetery for me. So I'll eat a piece of cake in your memory.
More poems about cake.
The shitty day last week was also in his memory of oracle for dreams that I think I only read out loud once and I might cry. It's titled A Poem Impossible to Title. The day after my mother's birthday, thanks for the well wishes. That's how she's doing. She tells them her husband passed away that morning. Shocked silence, tears, mumbled words of sympathy. All day, the sky is like glass, the air transparent. The sun is setting when the father comes. We began leave face with the white the mirror shrouded. Through the open window, cold air creeps into the room, into our bones. Other believe God, I do not. But when I look up at the Milky Way, I have a sensation of and a steady rain fell gently to rescue the forest from the drought. I can't remember the light, cozy, time to retreat, bathe, light the first season. We are past equinox, and nightfall comes early, morning light wakes later. The autumn air is haunted with goodbyes and memories of goodbyes that mark like across a wide charted realm. My kin who walked before me left no footsteps, just memories that float like lanterns, only light my way.
Mark wants to come up and say a few words to you, but before he does, because I want to now I'm done, and that'll be that. But I just want to say thank you again to everybody for being here. And remind folks that Saturday, December 7th, we will be it'll be at 6 o'clock like it was today. We'll be here January 25th, which is the last Saturday in January. And bring your friends, bring more work than you normally would, because it's going to be an open mic. We can allow people a lot more time than we typically would. Just come, bring yourself, whatever you want. Juggling. But just thank you. Just please think about being here. And then after January, after the new year, I will have a full calendar for you. All right, and with that, I will Mark, and he will talk.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you all for being here. When you're here and you gather, this is a sanctuary. And that's what you're feeling now. So thank you, all of you creatives that share yourselves and the audience, for being here to help that. And to speak, I'm the arts administrator. This space creates creators, but who comes to the front door is the audience. Tonight, all of the audience as well, because they will help you heal. I am creative, magical, mystical beings, and we need all of you. We need tonight you to keep doing that. And that is what happens here. It happens many places, but that happens here. That equation, the creative is there and the audience consumes. That's a necessary mechanism. Now, I want you to also understand this from the artist's perspective. Pardon me. From the audience perspective. What art is to the audience, art is very complicated and infinite. What art is recreated into a manageable thing that the can consume. Because we're afraid to. We are in a time when it's so infinitely complex. And you are extremely good at deciphering this into something the audience can digest and find meaning. You all find meaning, and then you share it with the audience. I just want you to hear. The audience needs you now more than ever. I can imagine most of you in your humble process do not understand so much about the audience. I can understand that you just have to get it out of yourself. That's important. But understand when you are interpreting and sharing and regurgitating and being angry in a sacred space, you're taking it in and understanding what you are sharing. And that is so important. Two. So know that that's happening. Come here. Forward to needing your interpretation. Because we need that. We do not know where tomorrows will come. We don't know. And we sit here in the same place that you are, waiting for an understanding. And you help us get closer to that. So please to do that. In your humanity, and this regular time, we are in the fall of America, and it's great, dark, and heavy upon us just normally. And you be creating and capturing and doing those things of in the, because when you do this, we can take it home and continue to be inspired by what you just did. We can continue to be inspired. Don't feel that you're alone in that mechanism. You're not. The audience is with you. We need you to continue to capture that art in whatever form that is. Way. When we don't want to turn that box on, with you, again, here. So I just wanted, you were brave enough tonight, and I wanted you to feel that we are here. But I also want you to leave and know that we continue to. You're in front of us again. We need you. Because it looks pretty dark on the horizon. But dark here. So I appreciate you being here. This is a sacred space. That's why you see these faces here. Because we need space. Always. And you all make it a sacred space. So thank you, all of you. Thank you, John Dorsey, for doing what he does, because he is master of ceremony. We're grateful that you're alive.
Yeah.
And John shared with you the upcoming things that will happen here. But Agnes is another what she has here. Please.
So, our poetry at the Pop Down this coming Tuesday, the 19th of our public house, and we have Lynn Lampe and Barbara Leonhardt reading. So that is this Tuesday. Rolla Pop, and the ratings are Mike as usual. River, so busy. And we will resume on January the 20th, and our JD March, who none of you have heard because I don't think she's ever given a public meeting in person. If you're on the list, let me know. Otherwise, on Facebook, either follow me as a person, friend me, or just go on my page, Agnes Moyer Poetry, for the dates of the podcast and things.
Thank you, Agnes.
The Rolla House Brewing Company, aka The Pod.
Thank you. We have, Julian is also, well, she's a proprietor for in Pacific. It's been highlighted tonight. But can you talk about your program?
So Ken is actually featuring for us in December. And we're taking a break after that for weather and whatnot, but we do First Friday poetry. And so that's. Oh yeah, you're right. January. I forgot about that. So January Rick will be there. Yeah. So we got good stuff happening.
And the venue's name is?
Pacific.
Thank you.
Yep.
And that is between here and St. Louis,
Yep.
just geography. Are there any other hosts far and wide that are in here that want to do any announcements? Those in the house?
If you're on Facebook, you can follow Keeping the Flame. Chris and Lindy run, and it tells you all except for Southern Indiana, Northern, all of Indiana, Little Ohio, Kentucky, but it tells you everything of local gatherings and what's going on.
And
A little of both. My office, it'll be at Saturday the 23rd at the Nifty Beat Juice Bar. Tony Brewer will be the.
He's a dear friend of.
Yeah. I hate that guy.
Before the first mic, we kind of accidentally. Michael hosts an open mic in Scottsburg at Java Station 56. And Mick Parson.
Yeah, Mick Parson from Louisville. He's the 21st. What's his last name?
If your mom's bad, you should be kicked off the riverboat. You have to swim back.
I host in or she hosts in Columbus. Local friend named Patty hosts. We got a little.
And we hope to make that poetry bigger. So please connect. And the tribe gets bigger. Indiana, Kentucky, Missouri, that's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And we're getting bigger and bigger. So please do that because what happens? Poetry gets heard.
Yep.
That's how it works. So let's keep going.
Somebody's going to jail.
Mark's always talking about the creative. She's talking about all of us. But we're all baby ducks, Mark. You're the pond.
Yeah.
You're the pond. And you know, and we know that. And I like to say it. You know, if you don't say it out loud, the people don't necessarily know it. So thank you, sir.
That's what they tell you doing drugs.
And thank you, you honor me by that, but I also want you to know in there is the it goes in the leadership. So when you feel it,
Tony,